testicles. This is interesting. I was looking. Ooh, oh dear. Maybe we'll just. I don't know what it looks like to you, but that does not look cool to me. Okay, there we go. A little better. I was in a chat earlier and I was talking about this one. Somebody asked me about it, and I said that it looked like it kind of bottomed, and I took this like hypothetical trade, which it was only like what 12.5%. What does it say? Where is it? Okay, 12.4. It's at 12.36%. So it wasn't a great trade, and you could have gotten more out of it, but yeah, it was just a solid little thing. And what I suggested is that would have been a trim, and that you'd have kept part or most of it, and maybe re-upped on the dip. Really, I kept this on here just because this is a really super nice confluence, right? So on this on this run, this is the 50% or the 0.050 fib, and the confluence with the midline of this rising channel was just perfect, and it just blew off of that. Really nice move off of that. This is kind of starting to look like deviation. We'll see, because it could confirm support here. But the fact that it came back into the channel and dropped so hard kind of makes me concerned that we may come back down and check the SR down here again. So I would wait to play on this one anymore. I do expect it to break up at some point, just not sure when. That's the 5 minute. Yeah, the 15-minute doesn't look too bad. I mean, if you're looking at this as a cuppy formation, again, cups are much better as continuation patterns than reversals, and this would be a reversal, so probably a lot less reliable. But let's see, what would the oops, not that one. Okay, well, it's approaching the 618 pullback. I don't think a deeper pullback would be out of line, like the 782 down here to under 11 million. I think that's pretty reasonable to expect, actually. And then hopefully it puts in a higher low and continues on up. NPM. This one, I don't really know that much about this one. But what I did see on this one was it is giving some wedgie consolidation. It seems to be holding this rising trend line. Okay, 15 minutes probably. A relatively new asset, right? It seems to be holding this rising trend line here fairly well. I don't think this is probably the most accurate depiction of it, to be honest with you. There's a couple others. I'm thinking this yellow one, which came off of the 5 minutes, I believe. Yeah, this yellow one which came off of the 5 minutes. I'm thinking that's probably a little more indicative of where the longer term support will develop. So right now, diving, looking for an equal or higher low here, something around like certainly above 1.5, something above 1.5 probably, and then ideally a curl back up. It just needs to like there's an SR band where he has an inefficiency, right? So there's an SR band there.
Hey,
It just
Terry,
needs to
there's no
erode that. It
stream,
just needs
brother.
to
We don't
bounce
see
up
nothing,
against it
Terry.
a couple times. So, what you want to see is a shallower rejection this time. Didn't really get up in there very, very high. 2016, it's looking a little toppy. This one just kind of went on its own little tear today. Yeah. So nice job, little deviation down here, confirm support here, and then just ran off of it. Really nice move, actually. You got to be happy with that. Yeah. So almost 3x. Can't complain. May not be done yet. But also clearly getting into increasing resistance up here. You can see it in the volume profile, and you can see it in the action up here. Upside wicks and really strong rejection and stuff. You're looking at like here, yeah, 377. Yeah, that looks like pretty strong there. Then obviously there's a little cliff right here too. So that's where you look for the heavy resistance to start right there around 364. Opal. Yeah, okay. So somebody asked me about this one earlier this morning too. And I was a little surprised at it. Here we are on the 1 minute. So it was much earlier this morning, and I was looking at it like this, and went up here, and I'm like, okay, this is the line, and it wicked below it, but it bounced, and it bounced really nicely too. I was impressed, and I was like, damn, wow, it held that. Well, it held the cutoff line until it didn't. I mean, a nice pop here, but dip below, and then just super clear flip of that to resistance, and just obviously kind of downhill from there. At the moment, it has just chopped sideways. All right, so chop sideways, heading up. I think it probably will. Let's go to the 3 minutes, but probably will have another push up, right? I mean, so we have a little bit of some sustained upwards movement here. Nice cuppy formation and a retrace on that. Let's see what we're looking at, the retrace on the cup so far. Okay, yeah. So, boy, I think it may come all the way down and check this again. It may dip even a little bit lower, but I don't think it's. I don't know that it's ready to put in a higher low, and that the volume is really poor, honestly. That the volume's just not enough to sustain it up there, in my opinion, right? And some resistance here, sort of increasing resistance right here. I don't. Yeah, I don't know that this support is confirmed yet. It looks like it, a low here, a little bit higher low here, but it really, so far at least, I mean, it still could, it hasn't stopped yet, but it really failed to push off that with any sort of authority. Okay, so here's another. This is the 4 hour, so it's an older coin, and obviously much longer time frame chart. This is the same thing, right? So here's your rising support, and all cool as long as you're above that, okay? But once it drops below that, you get some closures below that. Particularly if you get that pop back or retest, and it starts to fall off again, it's done. Or at least short term, it's done, right? It'll lose these ranges. It will come back down, challenge this, probably challenge this. That should be pretty solid support, though, I'll be honest with you. That is a big divot right there. So you'd expect a bounce here, a relief bounce there, but I don't think that it would go to a higher high. I think we just run into too much up here. Kind of good that the point of control is up here, though. Right? So the point of control was down here, and it's put in enough volume to move that up. Not on the local volume profile it has. So not as strong as if it had done that on the all-time volume profile. Still, there's some hope to be had there. I'm just not feeling real bullish about this one. SKR. Oh, Seeker. Wow. That's scary, honestly. I don't like charts that look like this. I just don't. All right, trading's good. Volume's good. Ton of volume, right? But when you have that much volume on your and your value, like, I mean, you've got 10 times the volume as your value, right? People are selling. That's the only way that happens. If people were buying, it would be a lot closer. Those numbers would be a lot closer together. Okay. So running into some resistance here. Continuation cup, though. Volume's pretty fair. Go down to 15 seconds. No, we won't. We'll go to the 30 seconds because the 15 seconds that just looks too horrible. Oh, that was pretty bad too. My God. So, and it's just the trading is on 30 seconds. It's just not. There's just not enough trading in this area, right? You can see it's a lot better here, but like that's bad. That's just not reliable. Right? The data is just not reliable there. But so you have the continuation cups. So clear uptrend here, right? Up, a little bit of retrace, up, very very clear uptrend, established uptrend. Retrace cup. So not bad at all. So continuation cup, and we have a consolidation here. I would not be surprised to see this push up from here. Not at all. Oops, wrong one. So you up there? Yeah. I think you're probably going to challenge the highs here, right? And you're going to run into, I mean, it might spike above that, but you're going to run into some pretty stiff resistance up there. So it might break out a little bit earlier too. I also question this a little bit, to be honest with you, that that's the top of the shoulder, because of the engulfing candle here. More likely it's here or even possibly an even one, which, would bring the whole thing down just slightly. Okay, yeah. See, that's a lot more reasonable in my opinion. That's much more reasonable. All right. So challenge this, maybe this one. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I like that. So 90 million, right? That would be my target on this one. Right? But 70 to 90, right? Well, I guess 72, whatever. That's not bad. Decent gain, 23%. And you can't really go to a lower time frame. There's just normally that's what I would do is I would go to a lower time frame to verify the breakout. But we saw what the 15-second looked like. Well, maybe it won't look so bad, right? We only look at this part. It doesn't look so bad. I mean, that's horrific, right? Don't look at that at all. But this doesn't look too bad. Probably going to check back down. I don't think it's ready to break out quite yet. But look, as long as it stays above 67, you're solid, right? Here. Let's see there. Like that. Okay. Yeah, 67 or so. It could continue to push up. I'm just not seeing the volume right there. The volume just seems to be tapering off a little bit. So yeah, look for a dip into a higher low here. What was the other one? Oh, ARK. Yeah, ARK. This is crazy. This was a one of those dino coins, right? That just sort of came out of nowhere, right? It's funny because people are like, it's running, and I'm like, what, ARK? You gotta be kidding me! And I'm like, yeah, okay. So it's one of those. Maybe go back to the. I think it was the 3-day. Yeah, the 3-day. Okay, you are here, right? Don't get too excited, man. It's not going back to like 500 million. Okay, it's ripping. Yeah, no, it's not. So what it's doing is it's coming back up here, and it's may challenge this. Your 92 plus area, 92, 93 area. That doesn't seem an unreasonable thing for it, but. And I'm not sure it'll get that high, but man, it is going to run into resistance there. And what you could see is you could see it run up to there and then pull back and then maybe make another run because there is a big inefficiency up here. It's just got some work to do. I think it's probably have to tap that resistance. You got the up to probably all the way up to 100 million. Really, probably just going to have to drive through that if indeed it does make a recovery. And again, I'm not particularly sanguine that is the case. But, daily, not so bad. So midline reversal, that's bullish. Yeah, volume's fair. All right, good volume on this little push here. So if you wanted to think that this was the cup here, that it definitely hit that target. If you wanted to think that this was the cup here, it didn't quite hit that one. Then again, action has not returned to test that. So if you thought this was the trend line here, it would not be surprising at all to see it come back, hit it, and then run. And if it did that, it would probably go higher than this, to be honest with you. Yeah, first bounce, a little something here, continuation on down. I could see it. I could see a reversal of 70 million, but I'd wait on it. I would definitely wait for it to show me some solid evidence that it has come down and established support lower than this before I would consider entering.